Okay, I'm gonna send it out. Readman, you open the show. Yeah.
Great. I'll put it on Twitter. Our voice comes live too? All right. All right. All right. All right.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I would like to say thank you so much for coming to the show. And we are so welcome and to have you on our show. And we're going to ask you some basic questions, basically, so we can know what's going on with your current project, Mr. Daniel. And it's a pleasure for me to uh, meet you, and for my community to meet you also. So let me let the other guys welcome you also. Woodman.
All right. Welcome. Welcome. Just want to say that this is the second episode of Crypto Talk. Tonight we have one of the developers from Safe Exchange Coin with us. He's going to talk a little bit about the Safe Exchange coin and introduce himself, and then he will be around for any questions you may have later on. If you'd like to ask any questions, you can jump into our Discord channel, which is in the YouTube description, or you can just write your questions in the YouTube chat. So, Daniel, you can start having the floor by introducing yourself.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So my name is Daniel Debek. I'm the lead developer and founder of Safe Exchange. In other words, SAFEX. You can go on a website, safex.io. You can learn from there. But basically, I'm just going to tell about myself and why did I start Safe Exchange? Why does SafeX exist? Now, I got into cryptocurrency in 2013 when I bought some Bitcoins because I wanted to buy something online. And rather, I wanted to import something. I was living in Mexico, and you don't get all the comforts of home there. And I was thinking like, okay, how can I buy something online? And I kept searching online, and I wanted to bring something in, kept searching, and I found Bitcoin. And that was September 2013. I went ahead, bought about $1,000 of them. They were about $100 each. And I got the basics down about it with, public key, private key. And from that point forward, a month and a half passed, something like that, and I just left them alone. Then I saw that they rose to like $300 each, and I was just thinking to myself, this is the first time in my life I've ever seen some asset did that. And so before 2013, I've been writing software in a financial services industry for about 3.5 years, and then I took a vacation in Mexico. Then that story happened, and I was just like, wow, this is all programmatic. This is something that I can get engaged in directly. So I made a point to go directly to San Francisco, and because that's like Mecca of technology, and I was doing software in a southeastern USA, and there's not much people doing technology there. And when I arrived in San Francisco, I realized that this is an important movement that some of the most visionary people are getting a part of. And anybody listening right now, and anybody who and everybody on this panel who invited me here, and everybody in this community, you're all visionaries. And I think you don't need me to reinforce that you're on the right path. But I think I hope that after I speak with you, you can get some insights that you can take with you further down to people who have not heard of this yet. And so the first thing that happened was in San Francisco, I realized that, people were able to hire someone from Eastern Europe, from San Francisco, let them work, deliver, and then pay them 10 minutes later. That's literally the first time that I got into, the first time I got a glimpse of this Bitcoin making a difference for people. And this just got me fired up. I realized, like, around that time, Silk Road was being shut down, and coincidentally, I lived like a block away from that library where it was shut down. That was kind of funny. And but the thing was, it sparked something in my mind. It's not that Silk Road was selling drugs or something. Silk Road is, they did the wrong thing, actually, because Ross Ulbricht ultimately sold his own drugs. He encouraged people to sell drugs, and that's the wrong thing. And if you look at all the darknets, everybody always gets caught in the end. So it's a big problem. And
I agree with you. The crypto space has been very bad lately, and we encourage the good people to come on to Cryptocurrency Talk and to talk about this stuff. And we encourage our viewers to do their own due diligence when you invest in stuff, and do your research. And remember, real talk is dev talk. Get it from the people that's behind the coins. Get your information from the real source.
There's no other way. Thanks for reminding me that. And then we're going to touch on that point, because it's part of my history and part of my experience. In 2014 now, that's when I was already in San Francisco a few months. And I'll tell you what really inspired me for building SAFEX. It was when a good friend, he was hacked for about 4,000 Bitcoins. And I started to he asked me, oh my God, what should I do about it? And I started to theorize what had happened. And I said, maybe he bought something on a website, and that website saw how much money he had, tracked him down, and they hacked him. That was like one of my theories. And that being said, from that moment, I started to develop what's, the idea of SAFEX. And so the problem that SAFEX is solving is people need to use a website and sacrifice metadata and sacrifice their balance to third parties who might, indirectly are a honeypot for stealing from these people. And it's just, if people are going to use cryptocurrency, they can't suffer from this kind of hacking. They need to be protected from that. And that's ultimately why anonymity is super important. It's because when I go and make a cash purchase, nobody knows how much cash I have. If I go to make a purchase with my debit card at a store, the store owner doesn't know the balance of my bank account. Of course, the bank knows it, but that's also a problem, you see? So these are the kinds of things that I think anonymity address, and that's why they're essential inside cryptocurrency. But moving forward, you then still have infrastructure, which has to be maintained by a third party. And that's why the marketplace must be embedded inside of the blockchain. So these are the two problems that SAFEX is addressing and bringing to the world. And what Danny B's, what's your name?
Danny, yes.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that, but I'll just Danny, yeah. Okay, so like,
yes.
Yeah, like Danny. So basically, so I was in San Francisco on the scene, and I was able to see the formation of everything. I mean, from the very origin of Ethereum, I've met Vitalik Buterin like 4 times, and Gavin Wood and Peter Todd and people from the Bit Angels and I mean, anybody who has something successful today is just has crossed through San Francisco, and I was able to capture their communication and capture their contact, and as a result, you know, I've had a huge success in trading on cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. But I think trading is just the result of being so interested and so diligent to understand what makes them tick. But moving past the trading part, what's more important is I was able to see what the features are that really make a difference for the end user. So what I believe is, besides features, is the perspective of the people. So what SAFEX is a marketplace that services the digital merchant economy. So in the past, people would trade goods, and it was a big Wild West. And SAFEX in the crypto world is taming that Wild West. It's taking the 1500s merchant ships and defending it from the pirates. That's the objectives of SAFEX. So in the perfect world where SAFEX is something used by people, they use it to sell services, they use it to sell goods. Their balances are anonymous from the pirates, and what cryptocurrency does is it makes it possible now for people to trade with others who they never were able to trade with before. They're able to send payments with the most speed than ever before. And they are able to control their finances in ways never before. That's what cryptocurrencies brings to the world. So while I'm an American, I do live and work from Serbia. And the reason I continue to stay here after building a private payment network using blockchain in the previous year, which is why, since SAFEX was around a year and a half ago, you know, there's some stagnation, and that's because while I was figuring out exactly what to do to deliver on SAFEX, I took a very easy task, and I spearheaded the development of a private payment network on a blockchain, on a private blockchain. And
can you tell us a bit more about your marketplace? When will you guys launch that, and will everybody be free to list stuff on there that they can sell? Like, for instance, I know a big trend in the markets currently is people selling digital games. You mentioned a digital marketplace, or will it be other stuff as well? Can you please elaborate?
So literally the marketplace is for selling. So this is like, you know, the great nuts and bolts of the marketplace. It's we expect launch about 3 months from the wallet release. So that's always been the case, but we only just recently got the wallet being developed, and that's set to be released on August 5th. So definitely look out for that, and we're on schedule. Now, the marketplace should be within 3 months, and the large part of work around the marketplace is distribution of the coins and modeling the economic emission of coins through mining and what's that going to look like. But more about the marketplaces, people can buy and sell goods, and they could buy and sell services using escrow templates on that blockchain. So basically, you could upload a picture, you can give a description. In order to do that, you have to pay Chili coins. So that's the blockchain that SAFEX builds. So SAFEX is more like a trading community. Owning SAFEX coins lets you gain from the transactions that take place on the Chili blockchain. And when I say transactions, I mean just the fees. So whatever fee the miners would get, a part of it will go to the SAFEX holder. In addition, SAFEX holders will get there will be a small pre-mine to seed the Chili blockchain, and that's going to go to 0.5% will be distributed evenly to all the proportionally to SAFEX holders. And there's another thing that only SAFEX holders will be able to make a profile on the Chili blockchain. So if you wanted to identify yourself and kind of develop a branded reputation, you must hold some SAFEX. So it kind of gives you the license to be identified. Otherwise, You can of course use the Chili blockchain anonymously, and every action, such as engaging in a trade and bringing a product to the marketplace, will cost you Chili coins. So I hope that's clear. Let me know.
That's clear. You can just keep an eye on the Discord general chat. There will come questions in through from our listeners here in Discord. And all our viewers on YouTube, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat or hop over on our Discord. The link is in the description, and ask your questions for Daniel. Daniel, on to you, man.
Yeah. So I guess like one question was 0.5% ? The rest will come from mining, literally, and that's it. So we've hired 2 economists right now, and we will have a 3rd economist on our team who is modeling the emission rate, because we have most coins, they have Monero, for example, a huge percent of it was mined by the core creators long time ago, and it's like Monero as an economic system is already flawed. Why would someone adopt it? Bitcoin, you could say the same kind of, a lot less. And so like a lot of the coins, have a sick pre-mine, or they're mined quickly. Like Steemit is probably one of the biggest weirdos out there for pre-mining. So when I launch Chili, I expect that marketplace to be used by people and to be earned fairly. So I don't want the first 2 people to mine 80% of the coin, and I'd rather it be more possible for people in developing nations to because it's CPU mineable. It's based on CryptoNote technology, and we expand it for using the templates for escrow.
Is there any videos available online? Say some of our viewers would like to start mining. Is there any resources online available for them so they can set up their mining rigs to mine your coin?
No, that's not until the launch. So we'll do an alpha for testing, and it'd be nice to follow up on that. But you'll see on our forum at like literally safe.exchange. On our forum, it's pretty active. Our Slack is very active, and when alpha is launched, you'll be able to test out mining and see how that works. And launch is really dictated by the model of the coin being adopted. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not so concerned about speculators and mining speculators. I'm really living in Serbia. I know that there's users here because they have capital controls, and it's hard for Serbians to sell their services out, even though there's so many talented people here. They can't sell their services outside because the banking system is so primitive. But yet, a lot of people are hiring super talented developers from here. And if they knew that a marketplace like Chili's coming around, like SAFEX, then they would adopt it immediately. And I know that because I'm here on the scene. And that's just the kind of feedback and response that I'm getting. So
I might be wrong, but there isn't currently any marketplace where people can offer their services like Freelancer, the website, where they can accept cryptocurrency. So you will basically be the first to market for a service like that pays and accepts cryptocurrency. Am I right?
At least decentralized, that's totally true, because I also haven't heard of it, but I've heard of websites that let you pay in Bitcoin, but they're not like blockchain based. They suffer from those problems I mentioned earlier. So that's for sure.
I do have one question. What is the difference between the Chili coin and the SAFEX? Will they be connected to each other? Like if I want to make a purchase from the marketplace, I can use either or?
So that's a good question. I think you should be able to do that. That's absolutely true. I mean, if somebody wanted to so SAFEX will merge into the Chili blockchain, and SAFEX will allow you to vote on, different aspects of the future development. You can expedite feature production, like, you know how Dash has this way you can vote for new things to spend money from the treasury, these kinds of things. That's what SAFEX coin is designed to do. And also SAFEX coin is to make a authenticated profile on the marketplace, and also to collect the dividends from the transaction fees. So it's like, if you're a merchant using SAFEX, you can get all these transaction fees coming to you so that you can keep selling products. That's really what it's for. And so you can make a profile as well. And people would prefer to trade with people who have a profile, and to make a profile you need SAFEX coin. And if you want to trade, you want to use SAFEX to buy goods and services, absolutely. It sounds like completely reasonable. It's just something that didn't really cross my mind. I'm really glad we had this conversation.
So does that mean it's gonna be kind of like a Amazon marketplace, like eBay, etc.? People can list everything, but the only thing, the currency will be SAFEX and Chili coin? That's
correct. So Chili coin, something you can mine out, and SAFEX is fixed. You can never print out a new SAFEX. It's like so Amazon, Freelancer, eBay.
Okay, so SAFEX will be considering as an asset coin. So that means it cannot be mined or do anything. Just the same value will stay the same.
That's the idea. Yes. Besides the fact that it generates transaction fees, which means so we're gonna find part of economic modeling will be to balance how much transaction fee the SAFEX earns, because if people are holding it, people over a certain period of time should expect their investment back. That's for sure. So it just makes it really interesting. It's a really fascinating model. Considering all the models I've worked on, SAFEX is really the most interesting and most fascinating coin that I've ever been involved in so far. And I think into the future, nothing else strikes me as interesting for this purpose.
And essentially, the more activity which will be on the marketplace, the more the holders of SAFEX will receive, in other words, through the fees.
He's recharging right now, the AC/DC.
Okay, I do have one more other question. So where do you see SAFEX in the next
Tesla
1
just
or
stole
2
all
years?
of Thomas Edison's ideas.
1 or 2 years, but what was about Edison's ideas?
I'm sorry, I think you've got a hot mic, man. This guy.
Well,
sorry.
Sure.
Just go ahead, man.
Yeah. SAFEX in 1 or 2 years, I see it as the go-to place for buying and selling anything around the world with people. I can see that a matching engine evolves and people can offer demand, which suppliers can lock in fulfillment of that. I imagine worldwide offices opening for verification of products, and kind of like, if you're from the US, there's a system that futures exchanges. And futures exchanges have agents who check and verify different product for fulfilling contracts on futures exchanges. So it's like, if you're selling corn and you want to fulfill a futures contract, you want to sell it to the exchange, an agent will go and grade your corn and take it in and deliver it for whoever purchased that futures contract. So I imagine that SAFEX within the next 2 years would become a agent of validation of products around the world. It's like, imagine Alibaba. So that's the kind of thing, except with cryptocurrency that transacts at 15 seconds per block and has escrow built in, and it bypasses the barriers of countries and capital controls, and it's up to people to follow the rules. So different jurisdictions have different rules. So depending on where you're from will determine how you use the system.
Okay, I've got a question here from Steve K. He's asking, has there been any discussions or contracts between countries?
No, not directly, but I can say that I'm the first company that has incorporated with share capital, with Bitcoins and SAFEX coins.
Okay, we've got another question here. Where can we find info about Chile? What algorithm do you think it will be? How will mining attacks on the Chile blockchain affect the SAFEX platform?
Okay, so the mining algorithm will be Crypto Night, which does several rounds of AES encryption, which means you must use a CPU. So if you look at mining Monero, for example, that would point you in the right direction on what you're going to need to mine Chile.
And then there was the other questions.
Real
where did
estate
they find-
and yeah, so I'm sure you could. I think you always need a lawyer to deal with real estate. So that would require us to develop a contract on Chile to handle that kind of purchase. So this is like this is part of that 1 to 2 year thing. It's like we're going to start off simple and start with buy and sell, make an auction, make a timed for like a freelancer, a timed payment system, and then the world is our oyster. I mean, from there on, whatever people demand, that's what the development team will work on. And we are hiring people, at a regular rate to take on the future of what's becoming of SafeX.
I have one more question. Are you going to be in the Asian market?
I'm if as long as people use it, I'm sure they will.
There's a question here from Mint. Will the marketplace be enforced to prevent illegal activities, or is it a completely open market?
So illegal is subjective. Like, in some places you can buy marijuana, in some places you can't. And if we started to censor the marketplace, then we would become liable for everything on it. So there's no way to do that. There's no way we're going to do that. So it's going to be wide open. However, the Explorer, if there's a web portal for SafeX, it won't show illegal products. But I doubt we're going to have an Explorer that we control and operate. It's going to be something in a decentralized way because we don't want that liability. We believe that if you do sell illegal products and you're in the wrong place to do that, then I believe you're faster going to go to jail, just like on all the dark markets. So I think, if you're going to sell marijuana, do it where you can. And if you're going to sell marijuana where you can't, you're going to be caught probably. So that's my answer to that.
People want to get involved with your movement, help out. There's always a lot of volunteers, and we all know a coin is nothing without a community. Is there anything or any place or like a website or a Facebook page where people can get involved with you guys in direct contact with you? If so, please paste it here in our general Discord, so all the people can go and follow you guys, all your social networks.
Yeah, like we're really active on Twitter. We have our own forum, which is fairly active and have a lot of altcoin discussion. And I like markets and I like analyzing charts and I like talking fundamentals. One of the big topics is discussion about SafeX speculation. So, we have some secret sauce. Like there's some whales who bought SafeX in the inactive periods. And, just disclaimer, it's not me. I don't sell any SafeX ever because I want to earn the dividends. And I believe I'm going to model and structure the dividends that they're worth it to just hold the coin forever. But, there's some whales who bought it and I think they made a big mistake because we were inactive. And I told publicly not to buy the coin last year until the activity got back. And, see, I'm just completely transparent and upfront. The point is, you could go on the forum at safe.exchange, and twitter.com/safe_exchange, and twitter.com/Dan Daybeck. So that's my Twitter, and I'm very active.
Cool, Dan. We'll definitely give you a follow. If you can post all your links in here, we'll all follow you. And there's a question here from Mint. Where do you see Safe Exchange in a year from now, in 2018?
I see that the Chile marketplace is launched, and a whole lot of talented people are selling their services on it. That's my direct cultural strategy.
Any questions from our co-hosts? Anybody have some more questions for Daniel? Please feel free to ask him.
If none of the hosts have got questions, I can always unlock the rest of the room and let people voice ask their questions.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching on YouTube or on the Discord, you are welcome to come into the YouTube channel on our Discord and ask questions directly to Daniel.
Alright guys, in the live channel, if you just unmute your microphones now, you'll find that you'll be able to speak. If you have any questions, now is your time to ask them.
Safe Exchange, does it have a, I don't know much about it. Is it proof of stake or?
So it's two-coin model. SAFEX, which is like a core trading community where you could identify yourself. It lets you earn dividends in the form. So let me just keep it simple. We have a blockchain and it's proof of work mineable. And every time someone uses the blockchain to make a transaction, a fee is charged. SAFEX will receive a percentage of that fee. So proof of work mineable blockchain with this kind of proof of ownership kind of coin that gets you dividends.
So to earn the dividends, do we just need to have a wallet that's open, like proof of stake?
Exactly. Well, you wouldn't have to have it open at all, actually.
Oh, so you just keep the coins in there, and the blockchain would pay you for what you have in your percentage of what you have.
Park your SAFEX, and Chile coins will flow into it.
Okay, so don't even need to keep your wallet open. That's a handy one for those guys that like proof of stake, like myself. Anyone else got any questions?
You mentioned the certain types of votes that we'll be able to vote if you're holding the coins. What kind of votes would that be? What kind of decision making would that be?
So directly, we have we have a, when I did the crowd sale, 1% of the coins were retained, and I added to that about, so 1% is about 21 million coins. I added 17 million coins that I bought off the market. And so there's about 38 million coins that are going to be collecting dividends. And with those dividends, we want to use that to support the developers into the future. So we'll vote on the development team to, like, who we're going to pay to maintain that into the future. So we basically sign off on who's working on it. Second thing is we can vote on features that we want expedited. For example, if we need a contract for doing real estate, we'll have the development team get on working on that. So we would vote how much it's going to cost, and in a decentralized manner spend from that treasury.
All right. Could you tell us a little bit more about the rest of the team? We had a good introduction about you, but what kind of what other developers, designers do you have on board? Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, totally. So we have a backend Node.js developer who's coming on in about a week. We have a front-end developer who codes React and Redux, and we have a designer, an award-winning designer, who's doing our graphics. He's doing an outstanding job. If you look at what happened before and what happened next, wow. And we have recently just within the in this past week, we've onboarded 2 economists who are crypto enthusiasts, but also work in a official capacity in the Serbian government. And also we just recently, a couple days ago, we have now a publicist so that we can broadly and significantly influence the Serbian market where no one is right now, but a lot of interested parties. So that's our team. It's growing quite substantially.
All right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Happy to say that.
That is very, very interesting.
So you said you were looking for new people to join your team. So what kind of people are you looking for? So if people out here with skills and in need of work know which way to know what skills they're looking, your guys are looking for.
Sincerely, at this time, I'm keeping everything in the house in Serbia. So unless someone is from Belgrade, I won't, or from Serbia or willing to relocate to Serbia, I don't have any opportunities for you. But we are on the lookout for a systems programmer that would kind of alleviate some of burdens on coding into the future. But that's basically all we need is maybe we need one more systems programmer. I mean, I'm personally a systems programmer, and but freeing up some of my time would be interesting, so I can pursue more administrative and managerial elements. But we're coping really well, and I foresee that into the future. So sincerely, like, unless someone is in the area, then I wouldn't really hire anybody. It just.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any roadmaps online?
Absolutely.
Anywhere where we can find?
Yeah, you can see on SAFEX.io. So we probably should have done this conversation next week when we launch the website, because it's looking amazing.
It would be really cool for us to have you back. Yesterday we had the developer of Zencash, and he for the second time, and he wants to come back later on in a couple of weeks too. So we're definitely open for having you also back when you have your website launched.
I'd love to talk about the SAFEX wallet and the website, and that'd be great. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll definitely follow up with Mark Boy, and let him. I mean, he'll see it, and I'll definitely come on the show for sure.
Great to hear, man. Great to hear. Are there any last questions from any of the viewers or any of the hosts or anyone?
I had a question. For the Chile alpha, do you have any idea when you're planning to release it?
Maybe in 6 weeks. 6 weeks from launch of the wallet. That was my goal, to get something in before October, and thankfully, yeah. So that answers the question.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Are there any last things you would like to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that so I was looking for these economists who can help model the emission rate of Chile and kind of give us some logical reason for why Bitcoin has 21 million coins and stuff like that. And I kind of want an answer to that. And like in the previous project I worked on, the emission rate was a very big deal, and it was really well thought out, and it's having an amazing effect on the coin. And so I wanted to do the same thing, but finding the qualified economist to help with that was probably the biggest hurdle. And the fact that like cryptocurrency got really popular, because of the rise in the value and stuff. So a lot of these economists kind of came out of the closet and reached out to me, knowing that I'm looking for this role. And that really, the fact that we now have this in-house, that really puts me at ease for making a release for Chile. I didn't want to just launch Chile with arbitrary parameters, and we'll vote on those, on whether we which direction we go with the emission rate and how coins are distributed.
I do have one more question. So in this case, if I have safe exchange, I don't have to worry getting chilies, right?
That's true. You'll get half of the percent. So if you had 1% of SAFEX, you're gonna get 1% of whatever we drop. So it'd be like 0.005% of all the chili of all the chili coins. So like you'll expect to get something if you're holding the SAFEX.
Thank you.
Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Is there any other words you'd like to say before we round the interview and the talk show session episode off for this time?
No, just thanks a lot for reaching out, for letting me come speak with you guys, and thank you for your questions, everybody, and look forward to see you on the Safe Exchange.
It's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight and being so candid.
Thanks.
And as we said, we would love to have you back when you're launching your website with more updates on that. We're trying to get the different devs of different coins on here, and we're going to have the Zencash developer back in a couple of weeks, and it would be very nice to have you back too, and to hear some of your updates. Except for that, unless someone else have any other questions.
I think that's a wrap, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Daniel, for your time.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Actually, I am a developer. I don't know. I just. Oh.
I don't think they're talking about you. I don't think.
I don't know. That's funny. Yeah. That's cool.
Alright guys, I'd like to thank you all for tuning into Cryptocurrency Talk Live. If you've liked what you've seen here, just remember to like the video and subscribe, and come back soon, and hopefully we'll have new devs on. And thank you for Dan for coming and sharing his time with us.
Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure for me to talk to you and present you to the community also. We're looking forward to talk to you again when the website when the website get online, so we can make sure that everything going great.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.